Hello students, I am Omkar Deshpande, lecturer, Department of Commerce, KLS Gokte PU College of Commerce and Science, Belgavi. How are you? Fine? Better? Okay. Today we are going to start with the subject business study. Okay. In business study, Sir has already covered meaning of business, definition of business and characteristics of business. In today's class, we are going to cover the further part of first topic, that is what is business, what is employment and what is profession. Okay, let's start. So we see the meaning of business. What is the meaning of business? Now human beings require different types of goods and services to satisfy their needs. Day to day they require various kinds of goods and services to satisfy their needs. Now activities to be undertaken by people to produce and sell. So now people who are engaged or doing the activity of producing and selling those things. Now what is the purpose behind it? The purpose is to earn money by meeting the people demand. So particular person who is doing the business, his intention is to fulfill your demand and also he want to able to earn the profits. So this is what about our profits, or they want to earn the money. So this is what about business. Okay, let's see the meaning of business. Business refers to an occupation in which people regularly engaged in activities related to purchase, production and or sale of goods and services with a view to earning profits. Now business is all about that. It's a particular occupation where they have engaged in economical activities. Now what are those economical activities like purchase, production, sales of goods and services? Now these things are doing, but what is the intention of this? Because they want to earn the profits. This is what about the business. If you see in the image, the various kinds of a business will be done, like manufacturing activity, service industries are there. So various kinds of a businesses which will be done. And the second one is about employment. If you see the employment, what is employment? Employment means a particular person who is working in another company. Yani ki the occupation in which people work for others, like clerks, assistants, manager, all these people who will be working in a one or the other organization where they will be get remunerated in the form of salary and wages. Okay, let's read what they have given. Employment. Employment refers to the occupation in which people work for others and get remunerated in returns. Those who are employed by others are known as employees. Thus, people who work in factory and receive wages and salary are the employment of a factory owner and the employee of a factory. Now here what has happened, as a particular person who will be acting as the owner, his organization or his factory will be there. Under that he is going to employ few people and for them they are going to pay, he is going to pay the salary, wages, whatever it is. Now this is called as a employment. Okay, in image also you can see the various kinds of employment opportunity, how the people will be taking the work from others. So this is about the owners who take work from others, in return they will be remunerating it. Okay, now next see the profession. Now what is this profession? Generally you people know about what is profession. You people saw about the doctors, advocates, chartered accountant, civil engineers. So these are the people who are called the professional. Now why we call them as a profession? Very simple, because they will be having special knowledge in their field, special skills, special knowledge in that particular field, where with the help of that it will helpful for those who are needed for it. Okay, now the particular person who is want to construct a house, now definitely he is going to go with a civil engineer. Now what the civil engineer is going to give them a services, in return he is going to charge the fees. Okay, another one example which I can give. See, I will be having one kind of a business, one business which I will be having. In that business, what the business activity doing, I want that business to maintain some kind of accounts. Now that accounts is going to be evaluated, or the account is going to be what our employees done. I want to know whether it's correct or wrong, and I want some suggestions for that. Now I will go with a chartered accountant, I will show the accounts, and I will take the suggestions from him. So this is what, as a chartered accountant, he will give the services for us. Now what services he is going to give, for that he is going to charge the fees. Now this is what about the profession. That particular person will be having special skills, special knowledge. In return, he is going to expect in the form of fees. Okay, now let's see the what is profession. Profession includes those activity which require special knowledge and skill to be applied by individual in their occupation. Such activities are generally subject to guidelines or a code of conduct laid down by professions are known as the professions. Okay. Now for example, you can give doctors, lawyers, that's advocate, and chartered accountant. These are the example when it comes to the profession. If you see the exam, it's also in image, you can see doctors and chartered accountant. Okay, now let us see the comparison between business, profession, and employment. Okay, now let's see the first point, mode of establishment. If you see the first point, mode of establishment for business, entrepreneurs' decisions and other legal formality if necessary. Now here, as you want to, when you want to start up the business, means you are considered as an entrepreneur. Now as an entrepreneur, you have the power to make a decision, and some legal formalities are necessary to establish your business. When it comes to the profession, membership of professional body, this is very important. They have to be the member of the professional bodies. Where now if you see the doctors, Medical Council of India, if you see the advocates, Bar Council of India, if you see the chartered accountant, Institute of Chartered Accountant of India. Now these are the professional body where they have to get a certificate from them. Once they get a certificate of practice, then only they will able to practice it out. Now this is what about the profession. If you see the employment, appointment letter and service agreement, you need to get, when as soon as you join for a particular company, you will get an appointment letter. In that appointment letter, you will be given some agreements will be there. According to that agreement, which you need to follow it out. Now this is the first point when it comes to mode of establishment. Let's see the second point, nature of work. When you see the nature of work in business, provision of goods and services to public. Now as a businessman, professional provision of goods and services to public. For public, he is going to provide provision of goods and services. Yani goods he is going to manufacture it and he is going to sell it for it. So this activity, what it is being done, this is what about provision of goods and services to public. When you see the profession, rendering of personalized expert services. Now those people are professional people. They are going to, as they are personally experienced in particular field, skill, knowledge will be having. Now that they are going to expert, they are, with the help of that, they will give the services to people. Now if you see the employment, performance work as per the service contract of rules and services. Whatever the rules and regulations are, according to that they will be providing the services. Okay, now if you see the third one, qualification. When it comes to business, is that any particular qualification is required? No, there is no particular qualification required when it comes to businesses. But when it comes to professional, they require the particular qualification. If you see the doctors, MBBS, if you see the CAs, that Institute of Chartered Accountant, they should clear the CA exam. If you see the advocates, even they will be having Bar Council of India, they should get a certificate from that. Yani ki, for professional expert, they require some kind of a particular qualification for that. But when it comes to employment, the prescribed qualification will be already mentioned. According to that, they will get a job. Okay, according to that only the job will be given. So that particular qualification which is required, on that only job will be given. On that they started working it out. Now this is the third thing. Okay, if you see the fourth point, reward or returns. When it comes to the business, they will be earning profit. That is what, in the form of profit, what they are going to earn it. When it comes to professional, they will take a fees from the client. That's what professional fees. And when it comes to employment, what happens? They take a salary or a wages for particular what services they will be providing it out. Okay, now this is what about the rewards or returns. If you see the capital investment, as a businessman, they require the capital investment will be required, but according to the size of the business, the capital they fixed it out. If it's a small scale industry, particular capital will be different. If it is a large scale business industry, for them capital will be different. If it is a medium scale industry, for that capital different. Even the nature of business, what they are dealing, on the basis of that only capital which they can decide it. But when it comes to professional, there's no much capital, yani ki limited capital is required for them. Okay, now limited capital in the sense they require some office and some computers and all. So minimum capital which is required when it comes to professional, but when it comes to employment, no such capital is required for them. Okay, now let's we see the next point, that is a risk. When it comes to risk matter, as a business, the risk will be involved because profit is not regularly. Sometime they earn profit or sometime they may not earn the profit. So uncertainty will be there. So risk will be always present when it comes to the business. But if you see the professional, there is no much risk. A small amount of risk will be there, but not that risk when we compare with a business. Fees is generally regular and certain. So some kind of a risk they are required, it will be there, but not much risk. Okay, then when it comes to employment, fixed regular pays will be there, so that's what, there is no risk factor when it comes to an employment. Okay, now when it comes to seventh one, transfer of interest. When it comes to the concept of transfer of interest, for business, transfer is possible with some formalities. He can transfer his business to some other person with some legal formalities. He can transfer his work, but when it comes to professional, it is not possible. A particular person is a doctor or chartered accountant, he cannot transfer it to some other person. Okay, so like that, when it comes to employment also, he cannot transfer his work to some other person. Okay, if you see the last point, that is code of conduct. When you see the code of conduct, no code of conduct is prescribed. For a businessman, there is no particular code of conduct is there. As a businessman, he is going to set his code of conduct, and on that he started working it out. But when it comes to professional, there are some professional code of conducts are there, respective association or respective councils which will be given, like Medical Council of India, Bar Council of India, and also Institute of Chartered Accountant of India. They will be given some professional code of conduct. According to that only they have to practice it out. Okay, if you see the employment, norms of behavior laid down by employer are to be followed. Particular business, they will be having their rules and regulation. Now that rules and regulation, if the particular employee follow that itself will become a code of conduct for him. Okay, now these are all the difference among them. Okay, now let us see questions. These are the questions, which 3 questions I have given, which you need to answer it off. Okay, let's see the first question. Give 2 example of business. For example, you need to give the 2 examples. Okay, and in comment box you can give the answers. Okay, and the second question is give the 2 example of profession. For profession you need to give the 2 examples. You can mention it in the comment box. Okay, the third question is what objective type question. Name the economical activity in which people are rewarded with salary or wages for their work dash. Now this is what the 2 options I have given. One is profession, second is the employment. Among that, one will be the answer where you need to mention it in a comment box. Okay, thank you.